Have a seat, boys and girls, bros and babes, dudes and chicks, non-binary pals, because Uncle Jerk has a story to share. And it is the story of the damage record in the USS Sandog. That's right, the island boy himself shows up. And while I won't say it did it all by itself, I do think this record may be in the books for a while. Of course, I thought the Vladivostok record would have been beaten by now, but last I looked, we still have that now for over 4 years. So, this may be a tale they sing songs of for hundreds of years. Now, it wasn't all that long ago I posted a San Diego game demonstrating broadside technology on this very map. And we will use that again later in this match. But first, we got a scout for our teammates. As you know, spotting is the name of the game now. And what makes that quite unfortunate for San Diego is that it doesn't really have that much armor. So if I'm spotting, I can't really be shooting because anything over 203s will overmatch me. Amusingly, one of the few times AP is shot at me is with 150mm guns, so they don't overmatch me. So right there, we just saw where the destroyer was. I'm thinking, okay, my BBs now know that there's nothing for them to worry about over here. So they can actually push forward and they can spot, so I can use my DPM to actually do some damage. But something weird's gonna happen in this match, and I don't know if maybe there's some weekly mission or something, but a lot of battleships in this game are gonna shoot HE. Not just at me, but at each other as well. Granted, I don't know this at the time. Hindsight's 2020. So basically I'm going out wide here to try and get some spots off, and then I'm going to turn north to try and get the island right here. I'm going to try and use that island edge so I can actually get some damage going. Of course, this is a tempting target to shoot at, so I know as soon as I shoot, I'm probably going to get some attention. I think a lot of people think of this ship as basically an Atlanta, which it basically is, aside from that slightly better armor. As I mentioned, that's why the 203s won't overmatch. But basically, I know I'm going to be targeted. So I've got to use the islands, because we are an island boy in this ship, to try and get some DPM going. If I'm not mistaken, I have a Nagato, I think, is the battleship right next to me, and an Iowa that is also over here. Now, the other ship that spawned with us took off. I don't know why. He's heading over... He's heading over to the other side of the map, and while normally that would be quite frustrating, as it turns out, that ends up being a good thing, because, you know, my teammates are eventually going to go down. I'm trying to get right on this edge. My teammates are eventually going to go down, and that is going to allow me to get more damage going, but here we are. My battleship's pushed up far enough, so I'm like, all right. Now they are doing the spotting for me, so I can actually get these guns cycling. And I'm going to go ahead and use the reload booster here pretty soon because, hey, if they're spotted, let's use it. We only have 3 of these, so get these going. But, yeah, they decide they don't want to spot anymore. So, well, that was kind of a waste. I mean, not really, but I'm going to still switch positions here just so I can be a little bit more centrally located. And I'm doing this, I'm not going to make any bones about it. I'm doing this because there's a good chance that I'm going to have to run. Because there's, we know that there's 2 or 3 battleships over here. This Bismarck, obviously, and then I believe there's an Alabama. What I don't know is there's also a North Carolina. We're eventually going to get the ships that took care of B pushed over this way, I think. So yeah, I'm being targeted by 2. This is why we're using Shelly Beepley. Plus, we have the really nice concealment on here, and concealment is king. So I'm trying... Oh, here comes some shots. I'm trying to get rid of that Bismarck. You know, we have to get one ship gone. We can't have everybody shooting at us, and they're coming out again. So we'll get our salvos off. And this is where the weirdness happens. Like, people start, like, battleships start shooting HE at me, and I'm not really sure why. But, you know, we'll still, I guess those ones are AP. I think it's the Nick Salvo from the Alabama is HE, which is quite bizarre. Anyway, Bismarck's turning out and into the island, so they're going to be kind of stuck there. And I'm thinking, all right, well, we got to get rid of one of these guys. You know, I can't have too many ships shooting at me at once. I'm still locked on. Well, I had 2 people aiming at me. Now it's down to 1. Amazingly here, we're going to see something kind of interesting. Like, look at this shot. I have that lined up on the stern of the Bismarck, but what? I don't know. Like, for some reason, some of those are going very high. I don't know. Maybe that's just part of the RNG technology, but they're gonna drop spot here, and I'm like, surely that's going to get it. It does have a long flight time, and yes, there it finally goes. So back onto the Alabama now, and using the island once again to get a little cover, and you can see the sap. You know, everybody always says that sap, but damage saturates too quickly. It's got all these issues, but look, just keep the trigger held down and it will know where you can pin, right? This is 127 millimeter sap, so I think this is, ooh, don't quote me on this, but I think it's 34 millimeters a pin. It might be a little bit more than that. Certainly not something that I have memorized. And I was thinking here, like, did that one shell get over the island? Yes, it did. So there goes the Alabama. Hey, we're up to just about 70,000. We've got the Shimanto, so that's who was shooting at me earlier with some of the HE. I put on my Hydro here because, you know, those Shimanto torps are pretty sneaky, and I don't want to run the risk of eating any of those. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do here, because over to the right, we have this Iowa. Now, unbeknownst to me right now, our Iowa, who does not have much health. I'm checking his health right there. It's an HE spamming Iowa. I don't know why. I don't make the rules. What does Pee Wee say? I don't make monkeys, I only train them. So, I don't know why this is the case, but I'm still going to try and get Shimanto. Oh, look, there is a Nagato barreling in here, but I'm going to focus on the Shimanto while I can, primarily because he's got the highest rate of fire. He's got, what, 1/5 HE pin, so he can put out a lot of damage. Plus, there are those sneaky torps. So, that's the ship that I want to focus on first. But I'm going to turn around right here, because my Iowa, as we know, over to the right, does not have much health. If I can use them, I'm checking their health right here, like, good lord, how do they have such little health? How have they not blown up anything? But if I can use them for a crossfire, well, then that's what I'm going to do. You know, I don't know if they've only been shooting HE or if they've been shooting AP. So I'm right there. I was like, why are their guns on the wrong side? What is going on here? Okay, this means I got to be a little bit nuts. Now, is this pointing at the Shimanto? We know that Nagato is coming in this way too, and once that turns right there, once my RPF turns, I'm confident that the Nagato is right around this corner. So we're going to switch over to our SAP, and we're going to come around broadside and prepare the broadside technology right here. I think they're going to get this salvo off. It looks, yeah, they did, and they got, looks like they got 2 overpins there. I mean, that is also just Nagato accuracy, right? I, of course, don't know that this is going to work, but, you know, I'm going to try and get as much damage in here as possible. But at this point, I've got the turn, so I'm like, wow, we're actually going to survive this. He just doesn't have the reload in time. So rather than drop the torps right here, we're going to go by, we're faster than his turrets, we'll drop them behind us, and we will get the Dev Strike on the Nagato. And not a moment to celebrate, because look who's here, it's the Shimanto. So Shimanto is using AP. That's probably what's going to cost them. If they had used the HE, they'd be doing more damage. I'm getting citadels. Hard to believe. I mean, but yeah, we're getting a few. And we're going away because obviously they've got torps. And we just need to kind of reset our brain from this situation. So I'm going to head this way. I'm checking the island to make sure that I don't run into it. And I'm going to go around and then probably, you know, kind of adjust my positioning a little bit once these torps go by. So if we look at the mini-map, the position of the Shimanto the last time it was spotted kind of tells us that they are not going around the island. They should be coming around on this, I guess that's our right side. And so, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and I was thinking, should I torp them? Can I torp them? I don't know if my torps are ready. I was actually just checking out the Rochester real quick. I was like, oh, could I shoot them? But yeah, Shimanto is still sticking with the AP. And man, you are not going to really get too much damage as long as I'm this strongly angled. And I'm using my next reload booster. Probably out of frustration here. They're just going to turn and try and get the torps off. I mean, if only they'd used HE. But when they go broadside like this, that's going to be our fourth ship sunk. And now is when I was like, what's the damage record? What is the damage record in this ship? I'm going to put on my hydro here very soon, too, as soon as it's ready, because I'm sure there's torps. So the damage record at this time, I was thinking it was probably like 160,000, maybe. But actually, the damage record prior to this game was 212,000 damage, which is, you know, impressive. And I looked and they have like almost, I think it's almost 600 or 700 shell hits. Obviously we're not there. You know, a big portion of ours came from those torps on the Nagato. That's like, what, 60,000 HP? But I'm thinking, well, you know, I was trying to do the math in my head. I was like, if I die here, are we going to lose this match? I don't want to do that. But I determined that we would not. So let's just start unloading into the North Carolina. And they are going to play along by shooting HE as well. At this point, I'm like, okay, are they just trying to freak me out? Are they going to switch over to AP and completely smash me? But you know what? It doesn't really matter because they aren't going to be able to get reloaded in time, especially if they keep sailing at this broad of an angle. I was also concerned that my teammates might come in here for a yoink, but they actually do not. So we're getting all of our salvos off, and check this out. I wonder if they have a heal going, because I didn't think they had this much health available, but as it is, we are going to get it right here. The Kraken and 222,845 damage in the Sand Dog for the record. Will it stand? I don't know. But, you know, I love this ship and I love doing great things in it. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I will see you all in the next one.